then hope like Clemson loses one.
And then I don't remember all the.
But it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. There was a lot of like different scenarios flying in there, but I mean, it was like, hey, they do have an outside. I mean, I don't see it happening. I'm not gonna sit here and say that this Iowa team that I've watched 2 or 3 times this year could go out and compete with Alabama or Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
But as a fan, just strictly as a fan,
be cool.
I would love it if they got in the playoff. I mean, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, Missouri's got no shot.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Missouri played at Georgia, and obviously was not on that level.
Big time, the Georgia loss is like they showed that they're full of mistakes. I think it's coaching.
Yeah, I mean, if I remember right, too, I mean, this is a year where Iowa has a favorable schedule because they don't play Ohio State or Michigan.
They got Michigan State?
I think they got Michigan State down the line.
They could beat them. They could beat Michigan State.
I mean, but they got a real favorable schedule here down the stretch, and I mean, it's possible. But
as far as okay, we'll shift.
Am I going to go put any money on it? No.
No. Yeah.
No.
As far as Big 12 goes, is your pick was Texas, right? Or did you pick Texas or did you pick Oklahoma?
No, I said I thought Texas needed one more year, so I went with Oklahoma.
And that was not a bad pick because I went with Oklahoma, and
it's looking like Texas actually could do it.
That dude's a good coach, right? We know Herman's a good coach. Mm-hmm. He's been, where's he at?
He was at Houston.
Where was he at before that?
He was the OC at the Ohio State with Urban Meyer.
Boom, and national championship, right?
Yep.
Yes. And he turned around that because I remember the Ohio State offense was struggling a little bit. He came in from Iowa State.
Might have been Iowa State, yeah.
Where the Iowa State's offense was looking pretty good. Ohio State, national title. Houston, Texas, going to turn it around.
Yep.
Boom. Also kind of helps that Strong had some pretty good recruits there.
Yeah, I mean, and I love it when Texas is good at college football. I mean, there's just certain teams I think it makes college football better when they're good.
You're right.
When you have a Texas, when you have an Oklahoma, when USC is good, when Notre Dame is good.
Notre Dame's good.
I mean, those are just, even though I'm not a fan of those teams, I feel like it just makes college football better.
Like the big fan-based programs.
Yes.
It's crazy that I think college football would benefit a lot if we say Texas, but I saw some deal that said actually the school that actually has the most money right now is A&M.
Oh, wow.
I think I saw it within this last week. It's like the most donations. And so, you know what? I was listening to another podcast, and it was like a kid deciding where he should play football at, but he wasn't going to play pro, but he was going to be like an entrepreneur or something. And the dude that was doing the podcast was like, I told him to go to A&M because the donations at that school are the highest, and if you belong to that school, your networking capability is with people that have a lot of money.
Absolutely. I mean,
that makes sense.
If you go to certain schools, yeah, their alumni will.
So any Texas school gets good. I mean, it's just good for football. So
yeah. So
all right, my guy.
All right. Anything else on college?
No,
or you ready to hit these?
That's it, man.
Power rankings.
Let's do these NFL power rankings. Touch on a couple trades. Actually, touch on 3 because I just saw another one come through. I don't know what the Saints got. What they gave up for Eli Apple. But they got Eli Apple.
Yeah, Saints got Eli Apple, cornerback. I thought I saw that there was 2 picks involved, but I don't remember what they were.
They must have gave up. I bet they called about Patrick Peterson, and I bet
it was probably too much.
Yeah, I bet the Cardinals want a mint.
Yeah,
a mint for him, and so they were like, "Yeah, we're good." So they called about Apple, and then his price is a little bit lower.
Yeah,
for sure. And so Saints got that. Good trade for them, sure. Saints are really the Saints could win a Super Bowl this year for me. I think so.
Yeah.
And then, so I think any team that's in a spot where you think, you know what, we could win a Super Bowl, I think you should push for trades like that. Second trade, your team, Cowboys, you trade for Amari Cooper.
Fire Jason Garrett.
It's a bad trade. Amari Cooper doesn't suck. Amari Cooper is going to make your offense better.
Here's the deal. Amari Cooper, is he number 1 wide receiver? Yes. Did you trade a first-round pick for number 1 wide receiver? Yes. Has Jerry Jones done that before?
Yes.
Yes, twice. He did it once for Joey Galloway where he sent a first-round pick and I think like a third-round pick to Seattle to get Joey Galloway.
Yep.
Didn't work out,
yep.
Which that was injuries to Aikman. There were extenuating circumstances.
Right.
But then he sent 2 first-round picks for a guy named Roy Williams to Detroit, and that was terrible.
Busto. Which that also kind of proves to a thing I say all the time, which is a lot of guys are system guys, right?
Yes.
So Roy Williams was good in Lions' system.
Yep.
You go to a different system.
Terrible.
Busto. Who was your OC at that time? Was it Garrett?
I don't remember. I don't remember what year that was.
Who's your head coach?
I don't remember what year it was.
It's not Parcells.
No, I don't think. I think it was
Wade.
pre-Parcells. Pre-Parcells.
Man, I didn't know that. Oh yeah. So, anyways,
but yeah, I know the Galloway one was like 98, 99.
That's on the.
And the thing is,
the Galloway one, I'm not totally against that because he basically thinks I got a Hall of Famer with Aikman.
Got
I'm gonna take one more shot.
Yeah.
And so, you know what? That one, it didn't work out. I don't blame him for the Galloway
Which
one.
there was injuries there because I didn't look this up. I probably should have today, but I want to say Galloway broke his leg almost right away when he came in. And then when he got healthy, Aikman got knocked out of the game and never played again. So
yeah, you know what? Yeah, and I mean, I know that trade didn't work out, but at the time,
I thought it was a good move.
Make that push.
But this move, I think, is terrible. And, I've been saying fire Jason Garrett on the show for a couple weeks. I definitely have to say this right now. If they do not make the playoffs, now, if they do not win that division, now that they have Amari Cooper.
After you make that kind of trade.
If you don't win the NFC East, which is not a very good division right now, you just played Washington and lost by a field goal last week, which playing for a tie at the end, I could talk about that too. But we don't have all night. I did retweet Colin's tweet about that. So if you follow us on Twitter at Midwest Mikes, check that out. But they were playing for a tie down the stretch. If you don't win the division, you have to fire that entire staff.
I agree because if you don't win the division, you're basically saying, "Hey, I went out and got I have drafted a stud running back. We got a pretty good quarterback. I don't think Dak's like elite or anything like that.
No, but he's pretty good.
It's pretty good, right? I paired him up with a pretty good wide receiver. I pulled the trigger on a trade. You need to produce. You can win that division with 9 or 10 wins.
Absolutely. They're only one game out of the division lead.
They may make the playoffs this year. It'll be winning the division. It won't be a wild card.
Yeah, no.
But they'll win the division. They could win the division. They could.
And
so,
they're 1-1 in the division.
Yeah, fire Garrett if it doesn't work out. They should. If he makes the playoffs. So if he makes the playoffs, I know you still want to fire him, but
I don't think they will.
Jerry won't. If he makes the playoffs, Jerry won't fire him.
No. If they make the playoffs, Jerry won't, but he should. But anyway, all right. Let's get into these power rankings. Or do you have something else before we get into the power rankings?
Yeah. Well, no. Was that it? Was there another trade?
No.
Eli Apple
and Amari Cooper.
I thought it was 3 trades.
And we still got another week till the deadline.
Yeah. So hopefully Patrick Peterson goes to the Chiefs. I don't think the Chiefs can make it. I hope it happens. I don't think they can make it work in their cap space.
Yeah.
But you never know.
All right.
Watch, the Rams are going to figure out a way to do it.
Yeah. I guess since they got injuries, huh?
They could. All right.
Well, at number 10, I have the Ravens. 4-3. They lost to the Saints this week by 1 point. Kicker Tucker missed his first extra point ever in his career. So they played with the Saints, and so I think they're a top 10 team. Ravens 4-2.
Ravens a sneaky little AFC team.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty good.
Didn't have them ranked last week, but I had them right on the edge.
Gotcha. Yeah, sneaky little team. My number 10 is the Steelers. They're actually technically in first place in the division. I actually didn't realize that until I started looking up standings. I think this is the beginning of their hot streak. Maybe they won't lose one more game and they start going. The Steelers are a funny team where they're super streaky, right? They'll play like garbage, and then all of a sudden, like if I was to tell you, hey, the Steelers are going to string together 9 wins and win their division, and be the third seed, a third or even a second seed in the AFC. That doesn't sound crazy because it all depends on how Roethlisberger does, and they have the weapons, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're doing it without Bell, which if I'm them at this point, I trade Bell this week. I'll trade him.
Yeah,
that running back.
Get what I can get.
What's the running back? What's the running back that's there? Who's the number one running back right now? The kid.
Coleman.
No, it's like Cop. What the?
I don't know.
The hell?
I can't think of his name. I was thinking Coleman, but
anyways, they've the Steelers. Oh, dang it, Connor.
Yeah.
Connor, there it is. Anyways, they've proved that they don't need him. So I'd call the Jets. The Jets have $103 million in cap space next year. Call the Jets, see if they want a running back. Boom, get some draft picks.
Yep, get some
draft picks for a team that really doesn't need too much to be Super Bowl ready. So boom.
Yeah. All right, 9. Who you got?
I got the Houston Texans. I have them there because they're in first place in their division. I really like teams that are in first in their division.
What's their record?
Texans are 4-3, my man.
Okay.
They have won 4 in a row quietly.
They have won 4 in a row
quietly, and all of a sudden they're 4-3, and all of a sudden Houston, if they have cap space, should think about trading for Patrick Peterson because they're not bad, and they got a young quarterback who's actually playing pretty good.
Yeah.
And I like their coach. I like O'Brien. O'Brien's old school dude. Likes to run the ball. A fundamental guy. Their defense isn't bad. So, and really, they're doing it. And the thing is, I like the Texans too because the Jaguars are proving that they're falling apart. And I don't have faith in the Titans. I watched them play on Sunday morning. And actually, Titans aren't bad, but I really like Texans a lot.
Yeah, and London. I don't know.
So it's tough to judge those games sometimes,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I got Texans at 9. Who you got at 9?
I got Chicago. Last week had them at 8, dropped them a spot. They lost by 7 to New England, who, obviously is going to be one of the top teams in the AFC. And I just felt like that Chicago did enough to prove that they belong in that top 10. So number 8, Cincinnati for me. At 4-3. Last week I had them at 6, so they dropped a couple spots, losing this weekend to the Kansas City Chiefs. Who obviously are up there on my list as a one-loss team, but I still think Cincinnati is a good football team. They're 4-3 also, so you got the Ravens and Cincinnati both at 4-3. Here in my top 10.
Yeah, the Cincinnati's tough. I don't have them in my top 10. I threw up a pretty big dud against the Chiefs. They're really bad in prime time. And that game had made me try to figure out the Chiefs that good or the Cincinnati just was off for some reason. I know home field for the Chiefs has a lot to do with it, but the Chiefs were on fire that night for sure.
They were.
So did you watch the whole game?
Yeah. Or no, I just watched the first half. I went to bed at halftime.
Pretty good.
Yeah, they did.
They were handling them, man.
Yeah, they were.
And the defense played good, which is crazy.
Yeah.
My 8's Washington. I like them because they're winning their division. I think Alex Smith's a winner. They don't make it look pretty, but they do it. And actually, the defense for them is actually playing pretty good. And they're winning at home. They're 3-1 at home, which is take care of business at home. So 2 in a row for the Skins, so they're in first place. I like the Redskins.
All right. Number 7, who you got?
I got Carolina.
Same with me, Carolina, 4-2.
So that's a team you shouldn't sleep on. Defense is pretty good. Cam Newton's playmaker. Their coach is ballsy. He's not afraid to take chances. I think I've said the same thing every week when I talk about him. I like Ron Rivera a lot. I like him. I think Cam Newton's attitude sometimes can be iffy, but there's no doubt that he's a big-time playmaker.
Yeah, I didn't have Carolina in my top 10 last week, but this weekend they had a big game and they won, and they're 4-2, and hey, you got to respect a 4-2 team.
Another thing about them is too, so 4-2, and they're doing what good teams do, which is take care of business at home, 3-0 at home.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
Yep.
All right, and moving on, number 6, I got the Minnesota Vikings at 4-2-1.
I also have Minnesota Vikings. I like Minnesota a lot. First place in the division.
Yep.
Cousins is playing well.
Defense is lighting it up.
They've won 3 in a row.
Yep.
So they're on a hot streak right now. Everything